Yo, it's a new day, and it's the conscious way. Yo, it's a new day, a new day. We've got the tools to free your mind. So come on, it's time to shine, be a new day. We've got the healing that you want. So come on, create your life with a new day.
You're now listening to A New Day with A New Bay, a podcast about our relationship with self, the collective, and spirit, and how we become a new being, go beyond us, and have affairs with our side spirit for healing and wellness. I am your host, Khem Anu Na'khi.
And I am Lahoma Je'Faye.
And we are A New Bay. I know we ain't done the show in a while. You forgot who you were?
No, I just was listening and forgot that I was supposed to participate.
Oh, okay.
All right. Like, okay, he's still in the flow.
No, yeah.
Like, oh, there's silence.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Am I supposed to say something? So yes, so I would like to thank everyone for taking the time out to listen and support what we are doing. This is season number 1, day number 6, entitled Be New, Be You, hashtag no, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. No, that's not the name of that's not the title. What's the title of the show? Title is, now it is inverted. Now I'm trying to read, instead of looking behind me, it's inverted. Just do you. You are light. Hashtag no, coulda, shoulda, wouldas. When you make changes at the last minute and don't update on your notes. So we have officially A New Day with A New Bay podcast now has their own platform. We have our own platform, A New Day, A New Bay. You can find us on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. Just go to A New Day, A New Bay. That's ANEWDAY, ANUBEY. And you can find us on, again, Facebook, IG, and YouTube. You can also go to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/A New Bay, A New Day, A New Bay, /A New Day, A New Bay. All right. So topics of discussion for today. So we have segment number 1, becoming a new being. Lahoma will talk about her experiences with India Arie's discography, her music. Then we'll talk about Khem Na'khi's My Blockage of Love. This is our pre-show. We pretty much came up with what we're going to talk about prior to recording this, and we will be talking about my blockages. I am very transparent and open, so I'm ready to be vulnerable. I might shed a couple of tears. So segment 2, we're going to talk about going beyond self as it relates to the melanated community. So we'll talk about the melanated community in relation to India Arie's music. And then segment number 3, affairs with side spirit. We'll be talking about solutions for not only the melanated community, but for us as well, as it relates to India Arie's music. So before we get into it, the new direction for the show. So Lahoma and I spoke probably about a month ago. Now we're still going to be the same format with talking about, whatever the topic is, how it relates to us, affects us, the melanated community, and the solutions. So that's not going to change, but we've decided to focus more on music, movies, documentaries, and books, and as references to pull from to speak about, for each show that we do. So be on the lookout. So we'll be talking more about music. So as you can see today, we'll be talking about India Arie's music, but we'll be pulling from it to, talk about our own personal life as it relates, and also as it relates to the melanated community and solutions. All right. So go ahead.
If people have some books or music they'd like us to listen to and cover or discuss, put that in the chat, drop it in the chat.
Indeed. No trap music. Just giving y'all a heads up, no trap music. We ain't gonna be doing that.
Well,
It has to be.
is there some spiritual trap music? I don't know.
Well, Kanye just dropped Donda. It has some trap songs on it. It has some drill
Okay,
music.
I was like, but wait, that's trap?
Well, it's gospel fused with trap and drill music. So
Drill?
that's the new wave right now. Drill music. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Offline.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
Because I'm like, what?
Drill music. So, say it. No, well, unless it's spiritually centered trap and drill music, we can, we'll take a listen. So, how we came up with this show. So, after we decided, like, okay, this is the direction moving forward with what we're going to be doing with the New Day with a New Bay. Then the next question was, hey, what are we going to talk about for the next show? We haven't done a show in like 6 years. What are we going to talk about? So then it was like, music wise, okay, I bring up, the initial conversation, I was like, I want to get into more like Bob Marley music, jazz music, the neo soul music, watching movies that have a spiritual undertone, reading books that have a spiritual undertone. And then Lahoma Je'Faye was like, hey, India Arie music. I rocks with India Arie music. So I'm like, okay, like I've never really listened to her music, but I'm like, cool, we can do that. And then, off top, I was like, okay, I remember the Brown Skin song. I remember the video, the song Video from her first album. So off top, those are the only songs I remembered off top. So I'm like, okay, we could pull from that. We can go in so many directions. So let me sit down and listen to her discography. And then I'm pretty sure there's going to be a wealth of information to pull from to, get off on the show. All right. So that's how we came up with today's show. So the last, 2 or 3 weeks, I've been listening to India Arie music. So shout out to India Arie.
Call me, girl.
So on the flip side, there was discipline, and we'll get into this in a minute. There was discipline with listening to R&B music. Like I don't have no problem with R&B music. Don't jump me. I don't have no problem with R&B music, but I'm not an R&B type of person, a type of guy. I'm more so hip hop. But the discipline. So it wasn't that hard. It wasn't like I was like, but as we'll discuss, well, I guess I can start because usually you start segment 1 talking about your experiences. I can go ahead and start. You want me to go ahead and start?
Go ahead.
It'll take about 2 hours.
Nah, we're gonna land this plane. Come on.
So the discipline to sit down and listen to love songs. So let me be clear. So I have no problem with R&B, but there was some like, okay, I'm listening to the discography. I'm going through the songs. Of course, started with Acoustic Soul, worked my way up all the way up to the Worthy album. And I found myself like, if it was any song that was like, oh, love and relationship, I'm like, okay, let's go to the next song. I gave it a chance a little, but I was like, nah, I'm looking for like spiritual songs. So consciously, I'm like, okay, for the show's sake, but there was some resistance. There was some feelings there that was like, hey, now this came out right before we recorded this show. We had a pre-discussion and we tapped into a level of like, okay, what is this? Let's speak on these feelings that you're having. Why did you move to the next song?
So I got a question. So the Love and Relationship, the volume 1, did you listen to those songs?
Oh, Life and Relationships. Yeah. Well, Testimony. Yeah. Volume 1. I listen, but if and this is with every album, if I sense that the direction of the song was about like love and relationships, like, oh, I miss him, or hey, this is, I was like, let's go to the next song. Cause I'm looking for now consciously.
But that was those were the rabbit hole songs. I specifically told you to listen to that album. I specifically told you to listen to that album because that takes you down the rabbit hole.
You did say that. I have it in my notes.
And you
but I was listening.
Whatever.
No. Let me clean this up as if I can. Let me try or attempt to clean this up. So
No cleaning.
Consciously, I can make the excuse. Now, again, I don't excuse myself from it because we're about to get into the conversation. But consciously, if I wasn't in tune with my emotions and didn't want to speak on why and go deeper with that, I can say, hey, for our show, we're dealing with spirituality. So I wasn't looking for, this is not a relationship podcast. This is not a love podcast in the sense of relationships. So I skipped the songs merely because I was looking for what can we use to tie into the spiritual conversations. Now that would have been like, if I was like still putting the wall up, I would use that excuse and try to get myself out of it. But that's not the case. That's not the case.
Okay, because I'm not buying it. So.
Of course you're not. Take a deep breath. Let's go ahead and unpack these bags.
Wusa. So what do you have against love?
Hey, that wasn't discussed. That's not what we discussed now.
But it's clear to me. It's
I'm just
clear
messing
to me.
with you.
You got something against love. Look, I got a box of Kleenex right here waiting for you, okay? It's ready.
Here's an oxymoron. I love love.
Really? Walk me through that one.
I have no problem with love. So let's shift out of that narrative. Okay. Shout out to day number 1, our first show, Changing the Narrative. No, show number 2, Changing the Narrative. So let's change that narrative. So it's not that I do not love love. It's more so, let's see. Being that, no, let me not go there. Let's reframe that question because it's not that I don't love love.
Okay, you're correct. That was more of a, I'm just going in. I'm going back.
Yeah, I feel attacked.
I don't appreciate.
I feel attacked.
You not following my instructions. That's what came up. I gave you instructions and you didn't listen. You didn't follow them. But no. Okay, so let's back up.
Hey, let me play something for you.
Drake.
Oh no, that's not it.
I want to say I'm sorry for the things I've done. To my mother, I'm sorry. Oh.
I just want to say I'm sorry.
Whatever. Okay. So, when you chose to not listen to certain songs because it was about love or missing or hate or, hurting, how do you separate that from spirituality?
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, it all goes together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't have love without pain, simply because at some point, the person may go away or they may die or whatever it is. So there's going to be loss.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, loss comes with just change, with life changing and the uncertainty of whatever the new is, the unknown. So, I mean, that's a part of the spiritual walk. All of it's a part of the spiritual walk. So how come you don't want to do that part? It's like, oh, I'll do this spiritual stuff, but just not that.
Well, off top, the spiritual stuff resonates more with me. Now I get it. I agree that it's all one. There is no separation, as we had the discussion before. There is no separation. So I guess in regards to the relationships, context in regards to relationship love, like romantic relationship and all that comes with that. The reason it doesn't resonate is off top would be I'm not dealing with that currently. I'm not in a current relationship. So I'm not that's not something that's like, okay, I can relate to that because, I'm going through that. Now, that's not to say that I have not been in. So I've had past experiences. So that's where we begin to unpack to where the things that come up in regards to the past relationships, it's like I'm the type of person that suppresses. So if I got it, well, I'm gonna say if I have to hear, but if I hear like love and like, oh, the happiness and the pain and all that, it's like, okay, I don't want to deal with that. So I guess I attach my personal experiences on that. And it's like, I don't even want to deal with that. I don't want to hear it because, I guess I haven't worked through or dealt with my own issues that I've dealt with my relationships, whether it be the good stuff, of course, that's always going to be great, but like the pain and the negativity, the things that didn't go as planned or just didn't go as they just didn't go well. Just put it at, leave it at that. So maybe it's just me pushing it away because I pushed away my own past dealings with relationships.
Do you ever plan to deal with it?
Of course. I mean, I've dealt with some, so it's not to say that I've suppressed and I don't even deal with it or I haven't dealt with it. There's things that have come up, just given my last relationship in 2016, there was a lot of things that came up and I handled it differently from past dealings. I've matured in that regard. Emotionally is mostly like the emotional aspect, as you know me, emotions. I'm not an emoter. I don't emote in the sense of like, speaking how I feel or
speaking, showing, like
you don't do none of that. Poker face. So, but in that relationship, there was, times where, just to give a small example, because I shut down. So if I'm like, it's like I don't want to deal with this, I shut down. So in that relationship, it came up in one of the first arguments, and I shut down. And it was like, oh, so you're not gonna talk to me or say nothing? And I'm like, just leave me alone. But I went deeper with that, and I was like, okay, I'm just trying to process the feelings. I can't process the feelings, or I'm unable to process the feelings because I don't connect with my feelings. So I'm taking the time, I'm shutting down to try to analyze like, okay, how am I feeling? What is this? What is that? What is this? So I eventually expressed that to her, like, hey, I'm not shutting you out. I'm not just shutting down. I'm actually trying to get in tune and connect with my feelings, which I'm having a very hard time doing. And it got to the point where it's like, she was like, well, you need to respond faster. Like, da, da, da. So I didn't say, who are you to tell me to, how fast to respond, but I did push back a little bit because like, you can't tell me how long it's going to take, but at the same time, let me learn how to process faster. So in that, as disagreements came about, I was able to process a little bit faster than just shutting down for a day or two or just not even dealing with it. So to that degree, I've matured, I've opened up, expressed myself in different ways, feeling wise, and then not just push people away like, hey, I do care. This is how I feel. This is, where the disconnect may be. Let's talk about it. So I've grown in that sense.
So so you say you've grown, but you haven't had a relationship since 2016, since that relationship?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have a desire to be in a relationship, or like, I don't understand.
Well, at the moment, there's no desires. Like, it's not on my list of like, I'm actively on eHarmony or Black Love or any of those sites. Like, okay, I'm looking for it. It's just like, hey, if something comes along and it just meshes up. Everything, you know, flows cool, but it's not at the top of my list. My focus is on other things.
Okay. So back to the feelings that you, like you say, I don't want to deal with this right now.
Mhm.
What is the I don't want to deal with this right now? How come that's your default? What is it that takes you to shutting down and it's like, I don't want to deal with this?
I guess it causes me to confront my emotions. And if you've put walls up majority of your life, I'm 38, so you know, from shit, probably like 6 or 7 years old, you know, dealing with the parents and, you know, them, how they were, you know, handling certain situations and, you know, hey, don't cry. I'm gonna give you something to cry about after you done got a whooping, or you can't ask questions. You can't, you know, I feel this way. I want to do this. No, you're not going to do that. So that was the beginning stages of, you know, shutting off the emotions. And then relationships come around, get older, and then you don't know how to emote, and then you just continuously put walls up. I don't want to be hurt, that type of thing. So majority of my life of, you know, just putting walls up and refusing to, or rejecting the opportunity to, you know, speak on it. I guess as I got older, like at this point, like I said, I'm a little bit better, much better. I'll say much better, but it's more so me now. It's like if something happens, it's like, damn, now I got to deal with my emotions, and I don't really want to deal with my emotions. So it's me just pushing that conversation away. It's like, I don't want to deal with that right now.
Okay. So I'm curious, if you never want to deal with it, when are you going to deal with it?
Oh, when I'm sitting on the beach with my feet up, drinking a pina colada.
You see my face.
Yeah, I see it.
You don't even go to the beach.
I went to the beach.
When?
What was that, 2 months ago? You know, I was in Houston. You was in you was in Houston. Remember, I called you. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way to Houston. You was like, I'm in Houston. Man, we had the conversation. You was in Houston with your fam. I'm like, hey, I'm on my way to Houston.
That was not 2 months ago because I haven't been to Houston.
Okay, no, okay. The time is moving fast. That was back in May. It was back in May.
I don't remember going to Houston in May.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying.
He was with your mom's. I called you as I was driving out there. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool.
Look, putting my business out loud in the street.
I wasn't in Houston.
Look.
Hey. Well, you gotta let me know. You gotta let me know these things. Oh, well, we do a show.
No, I'm joking. I really don't remember. Like, I'm like, I haven't been to Houston in a while. So look, that was that other chick. Look, that was that other chick.
Okay, I thought you were serious. Like, hey, I wasn't supposed to be out there. I've always been in Dallas.
Look,
I ain't never.
I done slept since whenever that was. So I can't tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
But yeah, as things come about, you know, I attempt to deal with it in the moment or in a shorter period of time, opposed to just continuously pushing it to the side.
I'm curious. You said while you're on the beach with your feet kicked up, how is that the time to deal with some heavy duty emotions? Like, I'm trying to chill and kick it hard,
right?
For myself.
Well, I guess it brings up a second point of I feel like it interferes with what I'm focusing on, which is like finances, career, creating, you know, a business. I was like, I don't want to deal with that right now. We're trying to get this bread, trying to get this money. I'm trying to elevate with this career. I ain't got time to deal with all that. So
that's interesting. Because it's all connected. Like, you releasing those blockages, that suppressed emotions, whatever that is, that's going to open up. The universe abhors a vacuum. You releasing and letting go all of that, the universe has to bring in more to replace whatever you just released.
Mm. So that does make sense because I have to deal with that at the property, at the apartments, dealing with the residents. Being that I am a property manager, everyone wants to talk to me. Everyone wants to give me their stories. Who then did this, and such ain't doing this, and why you ain't why haven't you dealt with this? And there's like a million and one things going on at the property on top of just the day-to-day task, and training the staff in the office, bringing in new people, firing people. So it comes up in that way because it's like I don't even be wanting to deal with that. So my staff will tell you, like, somebody will come in there or somebody will call, be like, hey, such and such want to talk to you. Hey, I'll talk to them later. I ain't got time to deal with that right now. I got other stuff to do. We'll deal with that at another time. And then somebody else will call, somebody else will pop up. Hey, just have them write down a statement. We'll deal with that another time. It's just like the focus is on, like, I gotta get these invoices done. I got inspections that are due. I got bids and budget season that's due. I got to answer these emails. I'm trying to hire this person on. I got to walk them through that. Then we got people that's complaining on this site, so I gotta send responses to that. Then I got to train the new assistant. Then I got a new leasing agent. Then I got the pool is not working. We got repairs that need to be done. Oh, such and such called. The bill hasn't been paid. Let me go get that bill, have them resend it to me. So it's just like certain things is like, hey, when you're dealing with spirituality, it's like I'm very self-sufficient. I work through my own problems. So when people come in there and be like, hey, such and such is doing this, such and such fighting, or such and such kids is making too much noise, it's like, hey man, y'all deal with that. Like, what do you want me to do?
But here's the deal. You're saying that you deal with your own stuff and work through your own stuff, but you're not. You just said you suppressed it a few minutes ago.
Ooh, you got me.
And the thing is, people just want to be heard. And so you creating a space for them to come in and voice their complaints or whatever, and then say, I hear you. Um, I can understand how that's frustrating or whatever it is you want to say to them.
Mhm.
And then tell them how you're going to deal with it and then send them on their way. You need to do that to yourself as well. Like, acknowledge whatever it is, those emotions that you may be suppressing, acknowledge them and feel them, and pretty much talk to yourself, that little boy or that hurt man, whatever it is that's within you that is not being heard, because it's like, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that.
Right.
We'll work through that. We'll work through it. But it's like, you so busy over here trying to make money or do your business or whatever it is you're trying to do, all of that stuff keeps getting pushed to the side. And so at some point, somebody's going to come out of there like, what is it, the Hulk? The green monster.
Mhm. They can do all that.
Really?
I mean, I check people too. I mean, like, I don't push everything away
I'm
if it's
talking
needed.
about you. I'm talking
You
about
talking about
you.
me?
Your
Me
green
showing out?
monster. Your green monster.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about somebody might, because when you do push it to the side, then that be that one situation that's just like, since you don't want to listen, I'm gonna make you listen. It can go both ways. But I'm at a point where I probably won't, blow. I might be like, hey, I ain't coming to work today. If it gets to that point, I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna take the day off. I'm gonna come in late because I don't want to deal with it. But it's still pushing it away.
They're pushing it away.
Right.
And it doesn't go away. It just sits there and waits until it's like something else triggers it to come to the forefront again. I encourage you to listen to the CD. The
Testimony Volume 1.
Thank you.
Relationships and life and
I'm thinking
relationships.
about all of the CDs are pretty good, but specifically Testimony Volume 1, Life and Relationship.
Mhm.
That one has a lot of different, like, if you want to really get to just emotions and feeling emotions, that CD will take you where you need to go. And just listen to the CDs. I mean, the whole CD, song by song, and just let whatever comes up come up.
Mhm.
I used that CD during when I was going through my divorce over 10 years ago. I've lost count of when that was.
Mhm.
Was that over 10 years ago? Yeah. Yeah, that was. Wow. So, but the music, the different lyrics, the song, the harmonies, all of it, it brings out the emotions even more. Like that CD was done really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of her music. I love India Arie. I am a true hard fan. But yeah, I encourage you to listen to that one. And until all that stuff comes up. And then try to listen to volume 2. Because if you can listen to volume 2 and not feel like you need to skip some songs, you're doing good, my friend. You're doing good. Because volume 2, she shifts to really songs calling in what she wanted to experience in a relationship. It's like love therapy, chocolate high. That was a good one with Music Soul Child. Let's see what else is on here. He Heals Me. Yellow, River Rise.
That's now one of my favorite songs, Yellow.
Yeah. So she has a bunch of songs on here that are very therapeutic as far as listening to, calling in the love that you want to experience. Because the other one, it's about love, but it's more so the loss of love, or what it feels like when it don't look all pretty and roses and tulips and lilies, and it's the other side. So yeah. But I really love all her CDs. It's just wonderful. She's just wonderful. She's just wonderful.
Shout out to India Arie.
Call me, girl.
Now we can get into, I guess, was that your segment as to the CDs and how you, was that your segment? Okay, you're cool.
Yeah.
Well, I got a question. You want her to call you? I got a question for you. How do you feel about India Arie kissing
I forgot
your boy David Banner?
You said you was gonna ask me that. All
Yeah.
right.
How you feel about that?
When I first saw it, it was like, oh, okay. They look like they would be a cute couple. I can see that. I can see that. Good for her. Right? Because I've listened to all her music and watched her journey, I was like, oh, she done pulled that one. Good for her. And at the same time, though, there's a part of me that was like, it's just a video. It ain't real. He for me, right? He for me. So yeah. Needless to say, I set the intention to meet David Banner, and less than a year later, I met him. I took a picture with him. So yeah, that's my manifestation.
Look at you using the energy.
Look, I'm working on a date now. Working on a date. Look, call me. David Banner, call me.
This will be going out. I will tag him in it.
Look,
and
they
then
gonna see it. India gonna see it. India Arie gonna see it. It's all good. I love both of you.
I need to take her picture off the cover art and just put a picture of you and David on there. So when I put it out there, it'll be you and David, and then I will tag him in it, and he'll see, be like, okay, I remember that sister at Pan African Connection.
Wait, Pan African Connection?
Say what?
We weren't at Pan African Connection.
Oh, where was it?
It was someplace.
It's in South Dallas?
I think it was South Dallas, but it wasn't Pan African Connection.
Oh, okay.
It was like some venue place.
Oh, okay.
That holds events or whatever.
Oh, okay. Okay. So boom. So we can get into segment 2. So what was that? Going beyond self. So we pulled some songs that we wanted to address. And I'll just go down the list of the songs. I Am Not My Hair, Brown Skin, Just Do You, and Just Let It Go. So with I Am Not My Hair. Now, before we get into that, I want to say this. So I'm listening to, well, two things I want to say. So you mentioned Yellow, or I said, hey, Yellow is now one of my favorite songs. Now, that was a love song where she was like, hey, I want you to stay, but I jam out to that song. So I'm doing better. I'm doing better. So I received that song. I received that song just so I can get myself a little bit out of that hole that I dug myself. So we making progress. We making progress. So listening to Worthy, the Worthy album, the song, I know we mentioned it. We talked about it just briefly, where it's pretty much like socially conscious, you know, being aware of what's going on in the world, and you know, just things like genetically modified foods and things of that nature. Where are my notes at? Where is Worthy at? When you roller coaster, that was the song.
Yeah, roller coaster.
And
I didn't know you were asking for the name of the song. I thought you was looking for your notes.
Yeah, because I had the roller coaster on there. Because you probably would have been like, "Oh, which song was it? Which song was it?" So roller coaster. So my brother and I, Chakra Zulu, my brother and I had a dialogue about socially conscious R&B music. Space is the Place podcast, episode number 2, star number 2, where we was talking about Marvin Gaye's Inner City Blues. We broke that album down and had a conversation in regards to like socially conscious R&B. Now, again, I'm not an R&B person. He's the R&B guy, but he was pretty much saying the same thing. Like, okay, what other R&B albums took it there in regards to like socially conscious awareness in regards to like the planet, like for what's going on, you know, the Vietnam War, the water, the ecology, you know, the killing of the species and things of that nature. Those were addressed on that album. So it's like we see it in hip hop, of course, but why not R&B? Now, the only two off top was Janet Jackson's Rhythm Nation. She has some socially conscious stuff on there, and like Beyonce will, you know, throw some socially conscious stuff on her album. But why, you know, we don't see it as much. But listening to like the Worthy album, you know, the roller coaster song, I was like, okay, all right, you know, it's been a while since I've heard R&B, and I guess it would. And we were speaking more so on a mainstream level. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of R&B artists on the underground level who are not getting that type of shine, who pretty much have these type of songs and albums that pretty much push that socially, you know, social awareness. So I just wanted to shout that out. So getting into those 4 songs, I Am Not My Hair, Brown Skin, Just Do You, and Just Let It Go. We wanted to speak about this in regards to the melanated community. So I Am Not My Hair featuring Akon, and they were talking about on the song, like Akon was talking about, hey, I wasn't accepted until I cut my hair. So, and then, you know, the pretty much as we see all around, you know, we are looked at in a certain way when we have certain type of hairstyles. People wanting to touch our hair if we do have dreadlocks, or we wear it in a certain way.
They just want to touch your hair. You ain't got to have dreadlocks. They just want to touch your hair.
Yeah, if it's a fro, or you know, you have a dope style that you rocking. So the pushback of not being accepted based on our hair and how we wear our hair causes some of us to go straighten our hair, put wigs on, and do things of that nature to be accepted. So I feel like that was a conversation that needed to be had. It's like, you know, listening to this song, it's like, appreciate what you have, you know, understanding the science behind our hair. There's power within the hair, and things of that nature. Did you want to add on to that?
Yeah, like, because the curls, like the sun, our hair absorbs the sun rays and stuff, and it's like, because our hair curls or the coils, like there's a science how it works, I guess, how it goes into our system by way of our hair.
Receivers, antennas, energy receivers.
Yeah, but do you remember the book? I can't remember what book I got it from.
I've heard a couple of lectures. dealing on that. So with that, I can also talk about like personal experience where, as I told you before we started recording, that I used to I used to put the S curl in my hair. I used to have the S curl back in high school. Then when I graduated, I let my hair grow out. Started wearing I had my hair pushed back, and then I had the 2 puff balls at the top. Then I had like cornrows, and then I would have my son's mother put yarn at the end of my when she braided my hair. So I would have like red yarn or yellow yarn, or sometimes it'll be a mixture of yarn, just a mixture of colors of yarn just plaited inside at the back. I just go around rocking that.
Do you have any pictures of that?
No. No. This is 2000 and this is old.
That sound real busy.
That's 2001, 2002, 2003, when I was in my experimental phase. That's pre-IG, when we was taking selfies, and we didn't even have cell phones. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, so there wasn't a lot of pictures. So then I went to the twists and had the twist, and then got to the point where I had twist all the way down here, and I'll just wear my hair down. And I remember a situation where, I'm like, I'm growing my hair out. I'm doing what I do, doing different things with my hair. And I was living in Atlanta, and my pops, I was looking for a better paying job. I was trying to move up because these warehouse jobs was not the move, making $7, $8 an hour. I'm 23, 24. I'm like, I can't live off this. So my pops was like, yeah, my homeboy, is over one of the Golden Corrals. I can get you on over there as a manager. So did the interview, and this is the time where we was wearing like super baggy clothes. So I was wearing like size 42 pants, 42, 44 pants, Tim boots, and like my shirts would be like 3 or 4X. Now these are 3 or 4X button down shirts. So imagine me coming in there with a 3, 4X button shirt. Nah, we talking about 4 or 5X. So it was super big, and I had the nerve to have a tie on. Size 44, 46 pants, baggy as hell, with Tims and twists. Going in here to apply for this job as a manager at Golden Corral. So dude pulled me to the side. We had the interview, and then he's like, hey, yeah, you're a cool person, or your pops and all that, but yeah, you gotta cut your hair. I'm like, man, I ain't about to cut my hair. And I'm not about to cut my hair just to work here. Like, why I gotta do all that? Why can't I just be accepted? So I pretty much turned the job down. Like, hey, I guess I'm be working $8-9 an hour because I'm not cutting my hair, because just to fit in. So I've had that experience, and as I've gotten older, as you can see, I got the low cut. I got the low cut now. I got the low cut, and keep my beard trimmed. So being groomed and all of that. But so I understand, what we have to go through, looked at a certain way because of our hair. And the lengths that, people go through to cover it up or straighten their hair to fit in, cut it off to fit in, and all of that. So I just wanted to put that out there. Do your thing, regardless. So Brown Skin. So that's one of her off of the Acoustic Soul album, Brown Skin. I love your brown skin. Call me. I'm ready to feature. I'm ready to feature.
Oh, you know what? You single. India, he's single. He's single, girl.
I was about to say, she dating Chris Tucker.
Oh, you know what? I think I did see some of that somewhere. Was that last year?
I don't be keeping up with like the celebrities, but I think I seen it. But who cares? I'm available.
Put your bid just
yeah, I'm available. Yeah, I know your albums. I listened.
Here's the deal. You listen when you just say it.
I ain't listened to the love songs though. I ain't listened to the love songs, but I like Yellow though.
But she looking for love. You gotta listen to it to know what she want. You gotta listen to it to know what she want.
Help me. You have the experience. Upgrade me. Shout out to Beyonce. Brown skin.
So back to brown skin.
Yeah, brown skin.
Okay, yeah.
So we see brothers and sisters bleaching their skin, and it's like we have self-hatred, no love for self, to go to the lengths of bleaching our skin to lighten our skin. Even with makeup, like you ain't even got to go to the degree of bleaching. You can just get lighter makeup. So
Yeah, but that doesn't look good. That looks even worse.
oh yeah, I've
Like
seen some.
you gotta take
Your
that
neck
makeup all
black,
the way. Yeah, you gotta take it all the way down.
unless you want to wear turtlenecks in the summer, boy. I'm just
Look,
saying.
slow motion.
Turtlenecks in the summer. So self-hate, not embracing your melanin. And we've been seeing this throughout history. The hair, we seen that in the 50s and the 60s, you know, where the brothers put the conch in their hair and straighten their hair out. And then of course in the was it with like the 80s and 90s? Because in the 70s, you know, it was like afros and you know that was the thing. And then like the 80s, right? Pro-black. Black and I'm proud. So the 80s moving forward, you know, they started using the straight. Now they were using the straight iron before, like you know, Madam C.J. Walker with the straight. She was with the first one with the hot combs. Yeah, so straightening your hair. But we get into the bleaching. Pretty sure there was people doing it in the 70s, 80s, whatever. But we saw the influx, like it started to become a trend. Probably like late 90s, moving up, getting that acceptance on a larger scale. People over in Africa doing it, people over in the Caribbeans doing it, of course here in the U.S., you know, doing it. So what are your thoughts on?
Well, I was going to say there's been even like where if they don't bleach their skin, like models and stuff, like whoever does the editing, the pictures and stuff, they may lighten without the permission. Because seemed like India experienced that. India Arie some years ago, where she was on the cover of something, and they lightened her skin.
Oh, that was Serena Williams.
I believe it happened to India Arie too.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I don't remember what she was on, but I remember people, fans and stuff are making, you know, people making comments or whatever, like she did it and she wasn't the one that did it, if I remember correctly. It was whoever that did the editing and stuff.
Got you. We forgot to bring up Michael Jackson.
Somebody did it to Serena Williams too.
Yeah, she was on I forgot what cover. It was the same thing. She was on a magazine and the pictures got out and it's like she ain't even that light. Like why? And that was a whole controversy behind that with that situation. And then you know, Michael Jackson, we already know that story.
But he said
had vitiligo
or whatever. But Lil' Kim, perfect example.
Kim. Right.
Yeah. Her skin tone is not what
it used to be. Right. Yeah, so it's like love for self, like, you know, you don't have to do all these things to fit in. And it's like, now this was a popular song, like Brown Skin. And
like she made it, like she really made it cool and just delicious to be brown. Like she made it tasty.
Right. So it's like, now we see, you know, the resurgence. So we were talking about the 70s. So the 70s, you see the, you know, the like the Black Panther, James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud. And, you know, people were really embracing blackness, you know, afros, fist, dashikis, you know, just Africa, you know, the motherland and all of that. So you see things like that in history, like you see a resurgence of Black power and then it dies down. So it's like, okay, hearing what that album came out in 2002, so early 2000s, neo soul, pretty much neo soul takes it to that level, you know, Erykah Badu, D'Angelo, all that. And it's like, you see that resurgence again with like love for self, brown skin, I'm not the average girl from the video, and, you know, that whole thing. So it's like, what happened to that? Like, why did we see the upward trajectory and then boom, we get back into like now the bleaching of the skin, the straightening of the hair, the wigs, the pretty much the superficial, artificial look.
Well, they keep parading what they want to dictate is
Acceptable.
is beauty.
That too.
They parade that in front of us like we're supposed to accept that and try to become that, which also is a part of the whole cycle where it's like, well, if you don't look like this, then buy these products. And this will help you look like this, or you'll come close. You could try.
Right.
Oh. I caught myself. I didn't say it. I caught myself.
Money. The money, the business in ramping up sales, creating the quote unquote problem, and then creating the solution, and then boom, here's a product, and then they making a killing off of that.
There is no problem. Not in me.
So
that's another song, India. Come on, bring it, girl.
Just do you and just let it go. So those two to end this segment, just do you and just let it go. So in just do you, she talks about create the game, create the rules, and you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot lose. So just do you. That's the message I want to send out. And then just let it go. Now, are we able to let it go?
Are you?
I mean,
you gonna go back and listen to that album and let them feelings go?
Oh yeah, but
okay,
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Look,
make it happen.
India, you gotta get ready. You gotta get ready.
Get ready. So yeah, so letting it go. So it is hard to let go something that you've been conditioned to believe. Beliefs are at the core of our essence. So how you were programmed since day one, and how that evolved, which turned into what you watch, what you like, what you the friends you select, and that those conversations, the environment that you're around, coworkers, lovers, what you watch on TV, what you listen to, all of that you will attract those things that revolve around your deeply rooted beliefs. So I know it is a challenge to let go of beliefs, or to change. I would say, let go and change and shift into beliefs that better serve you, that make you feel, that reflect self-love, that reflect fulfillment, value, high value, and things of that nature. So again, the question, can we let it go? It's easy to say it. We can sit here and speak till, scream at the top of our lungs till we pass out. But will we let go?
Decision. It starts with the decision.
But with the constant bombardment of mainstream media, they got a lock.
Turn that stuff off.
Stuff.
I caught it. Mm-hmm.
Express yourself, sister. Let them know.
Express yourself. Gotta be you and only you, baby.
Express yourself. Let me be me.
I'm glad I let you finish it, because I say the wrong words every time.
Shout out to that intro coming soon. But I guess the next question will be like, how long is it gonna take? Because letting go, like even with me, like I'm aware of a lot of things, but shaking certain beliefs and shifting into a higher gear, but
you got to saturate your mind with the new, whatever the new belief you want to embody. Affirmations, listening to audios 24/7 or as much as you can. Just reprogramming your mind. But the thing is, how bad do you want it? Like most people, they bust their tail to do other stuff.
You get the raw. He's raw, bud. You got these raw emotions coming to the top, bud.
I'm catching it.
Let
We
it
do.
fly.
We whatever we put our focus on, our attention on, our time, that's at the end of the day, that's gonna show, or the results. Our results are gonna reflect what we put our attention on, what we put our time, well, how we spend our time. So the key is get clear on what results you want. And then it's like, okay, well, I want to be in a relationship, a healthy relationship, a fun, spontaneous relationship, whatever that is, get clear on that. And then it's like, okay, who do I need to be to have that relationship? And then become it. It's just that simple. Now, it ain't simple.
Got to put that work in, man.
When you put that work in, you got to put the work in. It's just like going to the gym, but it's all up here. It's still
gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
It don't have to. It doesn't have to hurt.
Hey, breaking beliefs and shifting, it's gonna hurt. You're gonna bring up some emotions. It's gonna hurt.
It may, but it doesn't have to.
When life say, "Hey, you need to let her go, or you need to let him go." Oh man, but I love them.
So letting go, that's the deal. Trees don't cry when they drop leaves. It doesn't have to hurt. It really doesn't have to hurt. Now, you may cry, but it doesn't have to hurt.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Just because you cry doesn't mean that you're hurting. Right. It's because crying is cleansing. It's a release.
Releasing, right.
It's all about what meaning are you giving to whatever you're experiencing.
True. Okay. I agree.
Nobody wants to feel pain, or nobody's going to say, hey, give pain over here. I'll take 2. Nobody's going to do that.
Oh, they do it every day in society, but they do it unconsciously.
Well.
So let me get into this broken relationship. Let me eat at McDowell's.
Well, because it feels comfortable.
Right. As I said, they do it unconsciously.
And so it's a matter of, do you want to step outside of that comfort zone? Do you want to be upgraded, so to speak? Do you want a different experience? Doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Insanity.
Yes. So.
Okay. And you
mentioned earlier discipline. You said something about discipline.
Yeah, the discipline to sit down and listen to these R&B songs.
Look, discipline is discipline. The root of discipline, it comes from disciple, which means student. Become a student of love.
Okay, break it down. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I see.
All right.
A student of love. Music video coming soon. Conscious trap music. Nah.
Wait a minute.
We'll talk about that later.
Wait a minute. Okay. I'm like, why we gotta go back to the trap?
We trying to get out of the trap, my brother.
Look. Don't get me started.
Yeah. Okay. Moving along. Breaking the Shell. I just want to throw that song out there from her song Versations album, Breaking the Shell, where she says, the shadows make you whole.
Yep.
Do that shadow work, people. So we can get into our solutions, affairs with Side Spirit. So 3 songs I want to pull from. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Hence the hashtag. Coulda, shoulda, woulda, I Am Light, and Just Let It Go. Well, we just spoke about Just Let It Go, so we don't got to get back into that. But coulda, shoulda, woulda, and I Am Light. So on the coulda, shoulda, woulda, focus on you and what you need now, and affirm what's needed now. So create affirmations around what you need now. Understand what you need now. Focus on what you need now. Don't worry about, as she talked about in the song, I ain't worried about the haters out there. I ain't worried about what's going on TV. Let me turn this TV off. Distractions. If it's not in alignment with what I need, I don't care about it. I know I do that. You say what?
That stuff is going to be there.
I would go a step further and say it's not even worth the time.
It's not. Super Bowl.
I don't watch it. I don't even really watch sports.
But everybody tunes into what?
Watch that.
What?
Entertainment. You say everybody tune into what?
What part of the Super Bowl do they tune in?
Halftime.
Halftime. Why do they tune into halftime?
Entertainment, performances. Who's going to be performing? Commercials.
The commercials. Mm-hmm. Everybody looking to see what those commercials. They pay so much money for that little bit of time because they want to be able to use our attention, plugging in what they want to program.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And let's not even talk about social media,
turn that stuff off. Don't pay attention to it. India, she know.
Can you delete Facebook, Instagram, YouTube off of your phone? Because we could talk about the Super Bowl and all that. We know what the programming does in regards to the television. Go check out episode number 3 or day number 3 from the ANU BEY show, the ANU BEY podcast, where we talked about curse words. Don't let words curse you. Spells. Go listen to that episode where we break down different words and the etymology. We talk about that. But my point being, we already know the effects of social media. Can you delete Facebook?
What's the documentary they just did about social media and how it's addictive? Do you remember?
I'm about to look it up real quick.
Now, I use Facebook and Instagram. I don't use it a lot. I do use it. And I probably will start using it more as my business continues to grow. So it is possible to use Facebook and Instagram and get like positive stuff from it. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative. Me personally, I don't like to have it on my phone because I don't need those notifications coming through telling me to pick up my phone.
Right.
Like I have a lot that I could be doing, like going out in nature, putting my feet in the grass, hugging trees, hugging babies.
Indeed. Now, I'm on the flip side. I wake up with my phone. What's going on Facebook? Let me keep scrolling, hoping that I can find something. Now, I do have.
When you wake up, you get on Facebook first? You don't like check your email or like it's Facebook?
Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody sending me no emails. Unless there's a check, but that's just going to hit the bank. But people don't really check the emails no more. It's just more so like, hey, let me see what's popping. It's just the same old post over and over and over. Now, is me getting into certain moods for the most part because I have certain, like I got Medium on my phone, which is an app, pretty much just alternative, pretty much people writing about different things. It's like blogs. And then, I already got everything set up to where I'm getting certain blogs regarding like the metaverse, cryptocurrency, things of that nature. But I don't really check that. I'll check that, throughout the day. But when I get up, it's like, oh, okay, so let me see, oh, somebody like this, or boom, what did they have to say in regards to this conversation that was had yesterday? So I'll get up and just scroll. But, that's discipline that I need to, or discipline that I need to overcome that. But at the same time, I still have my, most wanted list. I have my ideal and purpose. I still stay in alignment with that. So I'm not way off the rails with that.
Okay.
Oh, and the movie is called Social Dilemma, the documentary, Social Dilemma. Go check that out. Very insightful. Make you want to throw your phone out the window. So last but not least, I Am Light. We'll end on that note. I Am Light, where she speaks about, I am not my past, I am not my thoughts, and I am not my race. So if we're able to throw all that in the trash, and I'm not saying that it's trash. I'm not saying it's trash. So don't come at me sideways because you don't want this smoke. But
What trash?
because I said if we can throw it in the trash, but then I said let me reword that because people can say, "Oh, so you're calling my race trash? Or are you calling my thoughts trash?" So I said, "No. Let me clean that up. I'm not saying that it's trash. I just said if you're able to throw it away, you got to be clear these days, especially when you're doing shows and putting it out there to the universe. People be listening and be taking stuff the wrong way. You got to be clear with what you say. So I'm not saying that it's trash. So if you're able to move past your past. If you're able to move past your past, move past your thoughts, and move past your race, your gender, and all that, and say, hey, I am not that. I am light. What does that do for you?
Well, it's like if we all look at each other as light beings, like, yeah, I'm in the body of a Black woman, but that doesn't define me. I'm having the experience of a Black woman, but that doesn't define me. Just like you're having the experience of a Black male, that doesn't define you. There's more to me and there's more to you than my skin or my gender or my hair.
But does that contradict what we just talked about? Aren't we supposed to embrace our brown skin, our hair? Are we contradicting ourselves now?
I don't feel like I am.
How so?
Because I'm having this experience as a Black woman. As a Black woman, I have curly hair or wavy hair or thick hair or hair of wool, whatever, like the different types of Black hair. That's a part of my experience. And I embrace it. But the thing is, if I say I'm a light being and we're all light beings, then I'm looking to you and honoring your experience from your perspective. And I'm not trying to make you have my experience or validate my experience. Okay. You're having your experience, I'm having my experience, and they're both okay.
That's what's up. Now, I was also saying true alchemy. Now, I was just playing devil's advocate, throwing that because some people might be like, "Oh, is that contradictory? Is that contradictory?" You should appreciate because that's helping you to grow.
Is it?
Yeah, somebody challenging your beliefs to help you to go deeper with how you're thinking and why you're thinking that. That's always a plus.
I didn't feel like he was challenging my belief. I felt like
attacking.
No, a curveball question. I was like, wait a minute. I don't think I have to think on the spot with this one.
we got to move, but we got to move, right? We got to learn how to process.
I'm a goer.
All right. But that didn't come from me. Who it
come from?
This is me thinking like, hey, when someone listens to our podcast and they say like, oh, I am not my past, I am not my thoughts, I am not my race, I am not my gender, does that contradict what we just talked about in regards to brown skin and your hair? I'm thinking as if I'm putting myself as the listener and just throwing that out there. I'm not saying it's not coming from me. Just don't yell at me after we get off the show.
Well, the thing is, I'm not my hair. It just means it doesn't define me. It doesn't have any power over me. Yes, that's a part of me, but it doesn't have any power. It doesn't control my destiny. It doesn't control my success. It shouldn't control my success.
Got you. Now, me backing you up, strong Black woman, me backing you up and adding to what you just said, true alchemy. So true alchemy, learning how to utilize what you have, but not being attached to what you have. So it's like, okay, I can be a Black man, but I can disassociate from it and not claiming it as like, this is who I am, but I could use the energy from that. So there's a long history, just speaking on just me as a African-American male, I can pull from the history, from the ancestors, pull from that energy, the struggle, the brilliance, the everything that comes from that, and channel that outward in my own life. So it's just being able to use that, what I have, to channel, using it as a resource, but not attaching myself to that. That makes sense?
Yeah. I'm not sure about the detachment part.
Because I'm light. I am not black. I am the light.
Okay.
I'm choosing to be this in this lifetime. So using that, I can channel all that is with that to ascend and rise up, to overcome obstacles, to shift the landscape of, my reality. So it's just merely a tool, and it's not this is who I am, because we do get caught up in this is me. I am black. I am a male.
That takes me back to the other podcast we did about past lives and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, in this life, I'm expressing as a black male. I mean, a black woman. A black woman. And so in another life, I know I've been a white male in a previous life. And so, but each experience, I'm bringing something to the collective consciousness. But at the end of the day, I'm a light being first.
Right.
I'm a spiritual being first. And then I'm a spiritual being having the experience of an African-American woman.
Right.
So, yeah.
I can hear it now, but boy.
Alchemy. Bring it.
Hey, yeah, any slander thrown this way, boy, I'm just gonna use it and elevate. So don't come at me with that. I can handle the smoke. I can handle the smoke. Huh?
Why would we get slander?
I'm just saying, like, because what we just said, that's not accepted with certain mindsets. Because it's like, oh no, you're trying to say that you're not black, and so you like I said, it's just me looking at from their perspective. So I get it. It's all beliefs at the end of the day. Once I check out of here and go to the next dimension or wherever the case may be, I may not be able to come back and tell you the experience, but we will see once we move forward and pass on what it is, if you will remember. Because you may come back, may not come back. We don't know at the end of the day. Beliefs. So I'll end it on that note. Anything else you would like to add to that?
I am light. That's what I want to add.
Thank you.
Thank you, India. Thank you so much for your music, your gift, your voice, all that you give. Thank you.
Ashe. Definitely appreciate. Glad to have the opportunity to sit down and listen to your music and to be able to pull from. And then now I have another assignment to go listen to all the love songs that I skipped to, so I can work through my past. So thank you, India Arie. Thank you. So that concludes the show for today. This is season 1, day number 6, entitled Just Do You. You Are Light. I still got the old title on the my notes. Just Do You. You Are Light. Hashtag no coulda, shoulda, woulda. So what we talked about, segment 1, we talked about Lahoma and her experience with India Arie's music. We talked about my blockage of love. I was very vulnerable today. I almost cried. Segment 2, going beyond self, we talked about the melanated community in relation to India Arie's music. And then segment number 3, we talked about solutions for the melanated community in relation to India Arie's music. So how do you feel about doing this, the new format, using the music, movies, documentaries, and things of that nature? How did you feel like the flow of everything went today? How do you feel? Groovy. That's what I'm talking about. So
Make sure if you like the content, like the post.
And comment.
Follow.
And comment. So join us next month, because again, we only do one show a month. Join us next month for day number 7, where we'll be discussing the book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Remember, again, we're only doing one show a month. So if you don't see anything next week, the week after that, don't be like, oh man, they ain't about that life, but I ain't trying to listen to them no more.
Go back and look at the other videos.
Yeah, we got more than 6, because we had part 2 and 3 of 4. So we got about 8 shows in the tuck. So go listen to them. So also check out the Spaces to Place podcast, about to come back around full circle. Moving forward, we're doing new shows. That's my show, Ashe. Space, SPASE, is the Place podcast, the only podcast to raise your vibration through alien art, spiritual slang, and electric ego. Vibrate higher. Shout out to Andre 3 Stacks. So where you can find us, again, we got our own platform for A New Day with A New Bey podcast. You can find us on Facebook, IG, and YouTube. Go to A New Day, A New Bey. That's ANEWANUBEY, and you will find all of our content there. You can also go to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/A New Day, A New Bey. ANEWANUBEY. So in closing, I did not send you that.
I got it.
Oh, yeah. Ahead of it, boy.
Man.
All right, go ahead.
I saw it coming.
Go ahead, boy. Go ahead.
Always create a new day with a new Bey.
Touche, and never lose faith, because what you say matters. I am Khem Anu Na'khi.
I am Lahoma Je'Faye.
And we are A New Bey.
Yo, it's a new Bey, and it's the conscious way. Yo, it's a new Bey, a new Bey. We've got the tools to free your mind. So come on, it's time to shine. Be a new Bey. We've got the healing that you want. So come on, create your